Today we are here to talk about our efforts to reach homeowners who are struggling with foreclosure. We've held a number of borrower outreach events throughout the city, and today we'll hear from a homeowner, Ms. Doris Taylor, who's been helped at such an event. And as you know, the foreclosure crisis impacts the entire region, and we are pleased to be here joined by the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus at this event. And the caucus has made foreclosure prevention and prevention mitigation a priority issue for them. And now I'd like to introduce Mayor Richard M. Daley.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Ellen Solly, for those kind remarks. And I'd like to recognize Florence Gonzalez, the principal of Washington High School. I want to thank all your staff and teachers and assistant principals for your dedication and commitment to our quality of education here in this community. I really appreciate that. I know it's a challenge for all of us, but I think it's really important in this day and age to emphasize how important education is. We give a child an education and the tools for life. If we fail, we just don't do it. And we've seen failure not only here but throughout the country. And I think we have to constantly emphasize how important good quality education. Alderman Ray Suarez is chairman of the Housing Committee. I really appreciate his support. Members of the City Council on this outreach program, and Ellen Sally in Department of Housing and Planning and Development. And also Dave Bennett. He's Executive Director of the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. This includes about 6 counties. It's Cook County, includes Chicago in the suburban area, Will County, DuPage, Lake, McHenry, and even DeKalb. So when we talk about the issue here in regards to housing crisis, it is a national epidemic, unfortunately. And what we see is the American dream is to own your own home. Now that's realistic. That's an American dream. It should be. And what we see today, because of the serious economic crisis, how many people are in serious situations. It could be a senior citizen. It could be a young married couple, a single person, a family. We realize that they're all some way in a crisis, or it's an impending crisis that maybe they're going to get laid off. Or maybe they're one of the husbands or wife, either one of them got laid off, or their son can't get a job, or their daughter. So it's still happening today. This crisis has not gone away, and unfortunately, it seems like it's getting much more serious. But I want to thank members of my staff who, prior to this, had many outreach programs and saving people. When you bring people in the private sector, non-for-profit sector, and government together and sit down with people who believe they have a crisis within their financial commitment dealing with their homes, you can prevent a lot of things. And I think that's what all the outreach programs have done. And I really want to compliment, because what we see is once a home is abandoned, once a home is foreclosed, and the sign goes up there, it affects everybody on the block. Criminal activity all of a sudden takes place. Then people wonder, how long is that abandoned building going to be there? That is a crisis. Is it going to be there a month? Is it going to be there 6 months? Is it going to be a year, 2 years, and 3 years? And so all of a sudden, if you're trying to buy a home or you want to move into a community, and you see a lot of foreclosed homes, the first thing you think is, boy, their value has gone down. Should I move into there? What's the status of all these abandoned buildings? Because that's going to affect your purchase power within a community. And so what happens is that all these issues are directly affecting local governments. And one thing we have done here, we have addressed the foreclosure problem many, many years ago. This is the 15th borrower outreach program the city's had so far here today. And I really thank all those that have been involved, and you see many of them here. Since the effort 2 years ago, we started the effort 2 years ago, we have helped more than 3,000 homeowners through 14 of these events. That's amazing, staying in their home, and that's very, very significant. Otherwise, they'd be out someplace, out of their homes, and there'd be a crisis within the community. And so what we think there has to be more addressing to prevent it. We have to do more prevention. We have to get in there as early as possible. And no one's immune from this crisis. Everybody thinks they're immune. They're not immune. I think you have to constantly seek counseling, and I want to thank all the outreach programs that we're doing here throughout the city. And this is an example of working families who are at risk in foreclosure, a direct connection with lending institutions, HUD-certified counseling agencies. And the more we have that, the better off we are. I mean, and so I keep constantly telling people, you think you don't have a problem, come to one of these fairs, call 311. We just want to help you stay in your home, and it's very, very important. In fact, this program is so successful, I'd like to remind everyone that we'll hold 4 more borrower outreach days this year at various locations across the city. Again, the program demonstrates that intervention works. We still need to continue to bring borrowers and lenders together and build upon all their efforts. And that's why the past 6 years, the City of Chicago has worked with the Neighborhood Housing Services, NHS, Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, numerous mortgage lenders, and additional HUD-certified counseling agencies to provide counseling to several thousand homeowners and, of course, prevent thousands of foreclosures. In addition, on Saturday, May 2nd, the city will sponsor a fixed-year mortgage event at the Chicago Police Training Academy located at 1300 West Jackson. The event is a partnership with the MacArthur Foundation, the Attorney's Title Guaranteed Fund, ATG, Neighborhood Housing Services Chicago. Is designed to help residents determine if they are eligible for help under President Obama's foreclosure assistance plan in order to ensure they get into affordable, sustainable, fixed-rate mortgages. We estimate that approximately 8,000 Chicago homeowners who are in foreclosure presently will be eligible for the federal program. We want to make sure as many as possible take advantage of it. It's really important for us. In closing, I want to thank all the partners who have helped us in our efforts against the foreclosure crisis. I want to urge any resident who thinks they might be at risk on foreclosure not to ignore it. Just please call 311. We just want your name, your telephone address, and we just want to help you stay in your homes. It's very, very important to you and your family, and to the community, and to the city of Chicago. And I just want to thank all those who have been involved in all these outreach programs, all the federal agencies and state and not-for-profit and for-profit agencies that have worked very closely with us. This has been a very successful program, and we just want to make sure that, again, I want to repeat, please, if you think you have a problem, or if you don't have a problem, call 311, regards to foreclosure crisis. Thank you.
Mr. Dave Bennett from the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus.
Thank you, Ellen, and thank you, Mayor Daley, for allowing us this opportunity to be here with you this morning. Mayor Daley happens to be the chairman, or the founding chairman, of the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. And about 10 years ago, he brought together the 273 mayors of the Chicago region to work on issues that affect the entire region, things that are significant to all of its residents and their quality of life. And certainly the issue of mortgage foreclosures is one of those issues. And based on the success of the first 14 outreach events, where the Department of Consumer Services saw that there were suburban residents who were attending and taking advantage of these particular events, they came to the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus and said, you know, let's involve some of the suburban areas as well. So this year, with the events being held, we're making outreach to various suburban municipal associations and inviting them to advertise these events to residents throughout the entire Chicago region. Today, we're obviously, because we're on the southeast side of Chicago, we're focusing in on the south side and the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association, Will County Governmental League, the Southwest Conference of Mayors. All those communities have been made aware of today's event and are encouraging their residents to attend. So we're very much excited about this opportunity. It's great for the entire region. And again, we thank the mayor and the commissioner for involving us in today's event. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Alderman Ray Suarez, Chairman of the Housing and Real Estate Committee.
Thank you. Good morning. These events are great, and I can tell you that I have the honor of being the chairman. Mayor Daley appointed me. I always tell people, you cannot find a mayor in any city in the United States that's got a stronger commitment on helping people fulfill their dream, which is owning a home, keeping a home, and hopefully staying out of the trouble. So this outreach program is great. I think that we're very fortunate, and I'm not here to pat. I mean, the truth is the truth. You can't find a better, stronger commitment to making sure that we are able to help those folks that sometimes get in a little trouble because they're unable to either work out their financial situation. But housing is so important, and Chicago has one of the strongest housing commitments in the United States, and that's through the efforts of Mayor Daley. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Ms. Angela Herlock from Clarice & Associates.
Thank you, Ellen. Clarice & Associates is a community development corporation that's been devoted to South Chicago for the last 30 years, 30 years plus. And we help about 2,000 people a year just to obtain housing, find housing, buy housing, rent housing. What's so critical about this time is that foreclosure is devastating our families. Families that have finally been able to obtain that American dream that Mayor Daley was talking about feel shame right now. They feel shame that they have not been able to keep that dream, and to no fault of their own, whether it's them getting into a loan that just wasn't what it needed to be, or losing their jobs, or just having their family situation change. They're in jeopardy of losing those homes and losing that American dream. And that's why it's so critical that the partnership that we have with nonprofits like ourselves, because the families are out there, they're afraid, and they're not talking. They don't know where to go. Right now we have a situation where there are a lot of organizations that are preying on these families. It's just another scam. They're not sure where to go, so they talk to the teachers at their child's school. They talk to their ministers. They talk to the person down the street. And that's why it's critical nonprofits like Clarice & Associates and NHS and Spanish Coalition for Housing, they are the resources that bring these families in and talk to them and help them work out their differences with the lenders so that they can stay in those homes. It's critical. It's a partnership. It's not just our responsibility. It's not just the responsibility of the lenders, it's all of us working together. And I think that's why it's so critical that these borrower outreach days take place, because it is the schools that come in and say, we will host you. It's the organizations that come in and say, hey, you know, tell all the people about it, that work with the churches. And it's the families that come in and can feel trust in their time of biggest need. So I just want to commend the Department of Community Development on just continuing to do awesome outreach days, and just that we can get our arms around this problem that is truly not just a Chicago problem, it is a global problem right now. So thank you very much.
As the mayor said, partners like Claretians are critical to our success, and we thank you for joining us. Another key component of our success of these outreach events is the participation of servicers or lenders in this. I'd like to now call on Gordon Klinkscale from GMAC ResCap Homecomings. Thank you.
Thanks, Angela. Actually, I don't want to put you on the spot, but Angela, she does excellent work in the community. Actually had the privilege of attending a leadership awards banquet with Angela. They had a whole video on her, did a whole piece on her, showed her work, and she won the Community Leadership Award that was given out by NHS and NeighborWorks. So that's excellent work, and keep that up. We appreciate that here at GMAC, and I'm sure the city does as well. My name's Gordon Klinkska. She stated they wanted to thank the city of Chicago and everyone who put together the City of Outreach event and asked me to come up here and speak. I'm flattered that they thought enough of me to request that I come up here and give my perspective on the city outreach events and how this helps the community. I think I'm a little different in regards to my perspective on it, because I'm not originally from Chicago. But being here, I've grown to love the city. I've grown to love the people behind it, grown to love the energy, the culture, the diversity. When it's 50 degrees outside instead of 20 degrees outside, you know, I've grown to love that and appreciate those things. On a professional side as well, I've grown to appreciate what helps me and helps our community grow. One of the things that I do is I run a little small cube out in Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago, that office, and I help do outreach for our company's customers who are in Chicago, who need help and may find themselves in basically a troubled situation. A little quick story. When I first got here, I was in NHS of Chicago, and they were introducing me and say, hey, you know, this is Gordon Klinkscale. He's come to partner with us and help the community and see what he can do for GMAC Homecomings customers who are indeed in trouble here, you know. And I'm walking around introducing everybody, and you know, you shake hands with somebody, say, hey, Gordon, nice to meet you. Well, welcome. How you doing? Yeah, you're fine. You from Philadelphia? Oh, that's a nice town. So what are you, a Cubs or a White Sox fan? What are you? I'm like, wait, give me some time to figure that out. But one of the things that helped me do is that was basically one of the things that I saw the passion of the people here in the city of Chicago, not only with sports, but everything else, events just like this. People like Angela in the community helping people who need that assistance. It's definitely something that I've come to appreciate and something that I've come to love about this city. These events are amazing. GMAC, on our end, I think I've attended the last 5 since I've been here, last 5 or I think this will be number 6 events. Those events, we helped about 72 customers, 72 homeowners. And, you know, if you think about 72, you're not thinking about 1,000 or 2,000, but that's 72 homes, 72 families that got the opportunity that they would not otherwise have had they not been able to come out to this event. It's very critical that our homeowners, just like Mayor Daley said, reach out to 311, reach out to the lenders, make sure they're trying to get the information for events such as these so they can get that assistance. On our end, we're constantly trying to, you know, find people. We're sending mailers out, we're doing phone calls, but after a while, you know, if it's a homeowner and they get that 4th letter and they're looking at it and they say, oh, it's another letter, I'm running behind and need some help, it's important that we have people in the community that they trust, things going on in the city such as this so they can come out and get that assistance. One thing I did want to bring up here is I think Angela touched on it a little bit. It's a lot of people looking to benefit in regards to other people's downfalls. You got the scams out there, and not all of them are scams. Some people, some industry entities are out there trying to help these homeowners, but they're asking for payments up front without even doing anything. Some people are just ripping people off and scam. It's important for us to get the word out there that this is not that. We have HUD certified counselors here. We have people here that are willing to help and aren't looking to get paid or looking to take the homeowner's money, which could have otherwise helped them in the long run. So I just wanted to make sure we understand that. We got to watch out for that and be careful for that. In conclusion, I definitely want to thank the city of Chicago, everybody that's here today, everybody that's here with the organizing the event. Very friendly people. When I come here, they treat me nice. I love that. The venues, the setups, everything is nice. They serve us lunch. You know, I definitely love that. But it's definitely something that I would like to see continue. Hopefully it does, and I definitely want to be a part of it in the future. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Ms. Doris Taylor, a Chicago homeowner, and to tell her story.
Thank you. The City of Chicago's Borrowers Outreach Program was a godsend for me. As a first-time homeowner and a person of limited means, it came at a time when I really, really needed it. I went out on a day that most people would say indoors to be a part of this program and find out what it's truly about. I was so warmly received, I was a little scared. But they understood. They listened to me. They understood my concerns. And as a result, I got the help that I needed. And I continue to be confident in keeping my home. So I would advise anyone who have any doubt of possibly losing their home to venture out and come to one of these events because it does work, and it worked quite well for me and my family. Thank you.
Also, as Gordon pointed out, we have to do a much better job when someone calls you and says, I want to do you a favor, send me $100 and we'll straighten out your financial situation. It's called scams. And we have to do a much better job in telling people not to send any money to these individuals. And when you sit down with them, be very careful. That's why if you call 311, we're going to prevent you from going into another situation of even signing your home away and signing a lot of money away, your life savings. So there's been scams out there before. That's where we got into this situation, a lot of scams. And unfortunately, no one's uncovered all the scams. There's so many scams out there, and a lot of people are taken advantage of. And so we really caution people, don't be afraid, call 311. Just call 311. Even though you're not in a crisis now, we want you to basically get information to protect you and your family and your home.